Okay, so today we are out and about. I had a couple of hours to kill this morning between dropping off Elliot at the babysitter and going to school for an appointment with Nora and Molly. So I figured I would go ahead and walk around and shoot some photos because we got some snow over the last couple of days. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really like snow, but I figure I'm not going to make any photos or get any better sitting on the couch at home. So I figured I'd walk around a little bit, shoot some film, and I figured I would just bring you guys along with me. I'm filming this with the GoPro Hero 7 Black. GoPro sent this out to me, so huge thanks to GoPro for doing that. I wanted to basically use this to do more out and about stuff whenever I don't have anybody to film me. I can just bring this along, kind of vlog style stuff. I don't like walking around filming myself in public, but if that's what it takes, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm not using any external mic or anything, so we can test and see how this camera does with, you know, the stabilization, with the audio built in, all of that good stuff. So what we're going to be shooting today is the Pentax 6.7. I actually just got this camera from Midwest Photo like a week ago. I'm going to be doing some work with Midwest Photo throughout the year, and they were able to provide a Pentax 6.7 for me to use since I didn't have any medium format cameras, so huge thanks to Midwest for that. It feels good to be shooting with this thing again. I'm actually using the 90mm f2.8. I bought this lens from my friend Devin, and I was originally going to go for the 105 just because that's sort of like the legendary lens for this camera, and I've owned it multiple times. But I wanted to try something a little different, and knowing that the 90 gets a little bit closer to focus, I really wanted to use that for portraits, and so far I've been loving it. So that's what we're going to be shooting today. And rather than HP5, I'm just trying all kinds of new stuff today. We're going to be shooting Delta 400. I haven't shot this film in 120 ever. I shot some 35 years ago, back whenever I first started shooting Ilford film stocks, and there's an old video on the channel talking about that. But we're going to be shooting Delta 400 through this thing. So I only have one camera, one lens, and one roll of film. I didn't bring anything else with me. I did bring my Sekonic L358 light meter, and I'm going to be using that. But that's it. I don't have anything else. And it's kind of nice just leaving the camera with just, you know, my jacket pockets full of a roll of film and a light meter and no camera bag. So we're going to walk around, deal with the cold and the snow, and I'm just going to see what I find, if anything is interesting. But first, we're going to go into roast coffee. I'm going to load this thing up, and we're going to start walking. So as I share these photos, I'm going to jump in and kind of share some of the thought process behind each photo in terms of composition, what I was looking for, what worked and what didn't work. And for this first photo here, I really just wanted to shoot because of the foliage and the snow along this chain link fence here, but I also really liked the back of this building. I believe this is an old church building, but I really just liked the back of it with this sort of plain, flat, no windows, kind of bare profile. So I came across these two cars in this parking lot, and they had California plates, and I'm not sure what kind of vehicles these are. I'm not really a car guy, so maybe someone watching could tell what these are, but I just like the old school kind of boxy shape, and I just wanted to layer the two because they were two, from what I could tell, identical vehicles in this parking lot. But I just like the way that the two of them, you know, kind of layered against each other in the harsh sunlight. And I was honestly pretty surprised by how this turned out because it was, you know, a pretty contrasty scene, and I was kind of figuring that metering for the highlights like I kind of figured that, you know, underneath the vehicle there, you would lose pretty much all that detail, but Delta 400 held up really well here. As I was walking around, obviously in the snow, I was seeing tracks everywhere from, you know, people walking around, dogs, cats, vehicles, obviously. And I just happened to be walking down an alley and came across this garage here with the tire tracks. And I just liked the really simple, kind of symmetrical shot of the garage door there without any windows, without any kind of like signage or anything. Just a plain garage door with these, you know, kind of crossing tracks. And I don't know what it was about this, but I just was really drawn to it, and I actually shot this photo with this composition in mind, and not taking into consideration that the viewfinder on the Pentax 6.7 isn't exactly 100% coverage, so the frame that I got was a little bit wider than this, so I had to crop it in post to kind of match what I was originally going for, but overall I'm pretty happy with this one. This shot here, I really just like the texture of everything growing up alongside this old building, and I wanted to shoot this wide open just to kind of get a feel for this lens since I'm not used to shooting the 90mm f2.8, but I shot this wide open just so I could kind of see how that focus fall off performed, and you know, nothing really crazy to write home about here, but I am really happy with how this lens kind of renders things. Okay, so we're back in town. I ended up having less time than I thought I did earlier this morning, so I had to take a break, but I drove back into town to finish off this roll, and as I was driving in, I had my Pentax 6.7 around my neck, and it was just kind of like resting in my lap, and I went to, move the camera, and I accidentally hit the mirror lockup button on the side of the camera, and if you don't know what that's for, you can lock the mirror up, so that way, after your composition is set up, typically on a tripod, you can flip the mirror up, so that way it eliminates some of the camera shake. But I didn't mean to do that. So right now, if I look through the viewfinder, I don't see anything because that mirror is locked up. So I have no viewfinder, no way of, looking through the viewfinder for composition or focus. But rather than just advancing past it and, wasting a frame, I only have 10 shots on a roll, so I figure I'm going to go ahead and use this as just a fun challenge due to my clumsiness. So I drove up here to this old spot in Chillicothe. This kind of overlooks Main Street. I used to live just a little bit down from here in some apartments years ago, and I used to skate down here in the mornings, and I've always liked it up here, but I figured I would go ahead and use that far distance to my advantage for the depth of field. So it's kind of flat lighting compared to what it was this morning, but I'm going to try and stop the lens down as much as I can so that way I have, more focus there, but we're going to see how this goes. So my Pentax 6.7 point and shoot photo here with no viewfinder. Obviously not crazy about the composition or anything, I'm just happy to at least have something and not just a wasted frame. But while I was here, I went ahead and shot another photo in portrait orientation just because, for me personally, I like this composition a little bit more, with the line of Main Street on the far right side of the frame kind of coming down and as it curves towards the bottom left of the frame, as well as all the telephone lines and the hills in the distance. To me, I just think this works a little bit better, but this is all personal preference. So as I was walking through Yaktangi Park here in Chillicothe, I wanted to shoot a photo of this bridge here, and I saw the ice on the water and kind of the lines in the ice and the rocks in the foreground, and I tried to make something work here, and to be honest, none of this added up in my opinion. I kind of just hate this photo. The hill way off in the distance, everything is kind of on a slant, so no matter how you try to straighten this image, I just don't think it looks good. Yeah, so I gave it a shot, but yeah, I really hated this photo. Typical Yaktangi photo with some ducks in the water. Everyone always hangs out down here and feeds the ducks as kids, but I really just wanted to shoot a photo of this tree here just because I like the way that it kind of reaches out over the water, and then as the branches spread, some of them come back in the opposite direction, so it just has this really kind of strong angle to it. So I just liked where the trunks kind of started at the bottom middle of the frame and goes up to the top right and then back across to the left of the frame. Again, I just kind of really like the direction of those branches. And the last thing I came across was just this parked car out by the old armory building, and I just liked this the barbed wire fence next to the car. It kind of had this like tarp hanging off the side of it that usually covers up that area, but it had been either pulled down or maybe the weight of the snow kind of pulled it down. I'm not really sure, but I just like the angle of it, the angle of the tarp there, the white car in the snow. I just kind of liked it, so I went and shot one photo kind of further back just to include, more of the trees and just kind of more of the entire scene there. And then I got in just a little bit closer and, just wanted to shoot something else just to kind of have some variety there. Okay, so just so you guys know, I used Ilford HC to develop this film. Maybe not the recommended developer, but it's what I had on hand, so that's what I used. And I scanned everything on an Epson V600, and I might not be scanning on that for much longer, but more on that soon. So all in all, I had a pretty good morning. It was good to get out of the house and just go shoot some photos and bring you guys along with me and shoot a film stock that I'm not used to shooting. So I'm pretty happy with how Delta held up. I definitely want to shoot more of it. Maybe next time I'd like to shoot it with maybe a little bit more controlled lighting, maybe shoot some portraits. That's kind of something I have in mind for the next time I shoot this film. But regardless, I had a good time, and maybe not the best photos by any means. I didn't really shoot anything to write home about, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be either the garage door with the tire tracks or the two vehicles kind of layered there. You guys be sure to let me know what your favorite is, and let me know if you have any other film stocks you'd like me to try out and do a similar kind of video if you enjoyed this format, because this was different for me. This isn't how I normally do things, but I'm just trying to, do some different things and have some fun with it. And one of my goals this year is to just shoot more variety in my film stock. So if you have any recommendations or anything like that at all, definitely let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.